everybody, this is the Sonoran Desert Anglers. We're up here in the Safford area. This is the Frye Mesa Reservoir. We're on the little hike going around the reservoir. It's not a very big lake. You need 4x4 vehicle to get down here. The road is pretty rocky, and the last bit of the road to get down to the lake, you definitely need all-wheel drive at the minimum. 4x4 would be better. And then you're gonna hike around. There's a lot of people on paddleboards and kayaks, but technically you're not supposed to be in this reservoir on any sort of watercraft. You're not supposed to swim in here, but all the rules are being broken. People are on paddleboards, people are on kayaks. The lake is being taken over by little goldfish. So someone came over here and probably used goldfish as bait and they survived, or they released some pet goldfish in here, but they have taken over. Some of them are huge. So I was trying to catch some of them. I was not successful. I didn't realize that that was going to be a thing. So I just came prepared for fishing for trout. I brought my 5 trout rods, or I brought 5 trout rods. I have them loaded up right here in the rod runner. I like having rod protectors on them because it will help from the line getting all tangled in all this brushy stuff. And this is why I really like the rod runner, because I can hike around in really thick areas like this and totally be fine. See, there's some cactus right here, there's some prickly pear, there's some thorny mesquites on this other side, and I'm able to get through it just fine without getting nothing in me. And I can carry 5 rods in some pretty crazy stuff around the bank. And this is the thing about the reservoir, is really beautiful, but it gets a lot of traffic. It's kind of out of the way, so you have to plan around it. It's kind of hard to get to, but the fishing was a lot of fun, and we're gonna get into some of the fishing right now. I got bit right where you threw it, and I missed the hook set. Oh, I got bit right there. They're biting this thing. I know. I think that rod is more bendy, so it casts it out further. Ah, I missed the bite. Oh, it broke me off. A lot of this on this trip, a lot of short strikes, a lot of light bites, where I wasn't setting the hook good enough. I was mostly fishing with mule fishing, little crawdads. I forget what they're called. I'll put a product image of it right here so y'all can see mulefishing.com. The Bronco bug, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. And it was getting hammered, but I was not setting the hook. I was not able to set the hook on most of the fish. I did set the hook on a bunch of the fish, but I'm just kind of showing y'all footage of kind of the fails. I think there's some really big fish in here because I got broken off a couple times. This is the only one I'm gonna show you where I have to like retie a leader and all that. But I kind of learned as I started fishing the lake. Oh, okay, like there's some big fish in here. You have to kind of have your drag loose. You might have to play some of these fish. So that's kind of what I ended up doing, is really loosening up the drag on my reel, and I would just tying it if it was too loose. But for the most part, the fish in here are pretty decent size. We were catching some small ones, but they were on the larger side, I would say. And there was a couple of fish that were definitely like in the 16, 17-inch class. And I think this was one of them. It was very powerful and it just ripped the leader off. And that was kind of my fault. I should have retied. We had been catching fish and it's kind of rocky, but just so you all know, retie there's some bigger fish in here. You might want to retie after catching some fish. Alright, so we hiked over here to the other side. We're over there where that truck is. And we hiked all the way around. I will say the Frye Mesa Reservoir is pretty bank friendly. There's a lot of spots where you can get in there. It would be a one rod deal, one person deal. Oh, I got one. Initially when I caught this fish, I thought it was a Gila Trout, but then the more I looked at it, it looked kind of like a bass. So, I don't know, y'all can kind of make your own decisions on it, but to me it looks like a little baby bass. So on top of people stocking the lake with goldfish, they're also throwing bass in here. And again, this is in Safford, and it seems to be that anything goes at the Frye Mesa Reservoir. You can take your paddleboard, your kayak, you can go and dump some goldfish, you can go and dump some um, bass. Anyway, this is a little mule fishing jig that I'm using. I'm using 1/32 ounce jig with the Bronco Bug. And I'm just throwing it out there and dragging it, fishing it like a Ned rig, fishing it like you do any jig. And this is how I caught a lot of fish. Okay. Rainbow trout pattern, I believe. Let's see. All right, we got one. Man, these fish are fat. So that's a countdown Rapala jerkbait. It's the second smallest size. I believe it's a quarter ounce, maybe an eighth. But anyway, this is another little bass. So this is another little bass that I caught, and I was commenting on how fat they are. But look at that thing. That's a baby bass. So y'all in Safford are messing up this reservoir. Y'all should be on good behavior over there. Oh yeah. There's gonna be a little bit of that because I got one hook. So that's the other thing about Frye Mesa Reservoir. It's a special regulations lake, so you're only supposed to use artificial fly and lure with a single hook. Obviously barbless. So we were losing a lot of fish because I was throwing uh, a Rapala, the second smallest size, which usually has two trebles on it, but I was I was just running a single hook at the end, and I lost a lot of fish on this trip. But such is life when you're fishing a special body of water with special rules that no one seems to follow. There's a lot of power bait and stuff. Even right here, I'm losing a fish. So on this B-roll right here. So it's just the way it goes when you're out there and you're only using a single hook and it's barbless. So just be prepared to get your heart broken. But there's a lot of fish to be had here. It's a very nice lake. We had a lot of action. So don't let that discourage you. Alright, so I missed the catch on this one. I didn't get it on video. Here. I have to
Oh, yeah, we have to keep it.
Is that mine or yours?
That's yours. So, we got one. Do you think we can eat this one?
Yeah, we're gonna eat this one.
Yes.
It's bleeding too.
This looks like a rainbow.
Oh.
This is a Gila?
This is a Gila. Yeah.
Oh no.
Do you want to put it on the stringer? Yeah, the jerk bait. Getting it done. Okay, so we can keep. If I catch another one, I can keep it, but then you have to catch the rest. This is one of the rare places where you can actually keep a Gila trout if you catch it. So that's one of the reasons we came here, because my son likes to eat the fish. So I was looking for a place where we could go and do all that. So each angler can keep two fish, and I think we ended up keeping three, and we ate them all that night. So it was a lot of fun to come out here and fish for these trout. They're very pretty. It's a lot of fun. Hard to catch because of the regulations, this single barbless hook. But as you could tell, I was having a hard time taking it out of that fish's mouth, even though it's barbless. So if you really get them, you get them. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. So a little side note on gear, I'm using the Daiwa Presso ultralight rod. It is 8 foot 2 inches, I believe, with an Okuma Avenger. It's a 50 size, which I think in their nomenclature is around a 1000 size. I have 13-pound braid on the reel, going to a 4-pound Yozuri hybrid leader. And I'm using the second smallest size of the Countdown Rapala Jerkbait with a single barbless hook on the back. And that's how I was catching these fish. This rod is technically a trolling rod, but I found it to be pretty good for bank fishing, tiny lures like this. I've had it for a very long time. I don't even think they make them anymore, but if they do, I definitely vouch for these rods. So, line tight, move out of the way a little bit, and then you boom, and do another one, boom, and then you reel in. You see how the line is loose? You reel it in until it's tight again, and do it again, boom, and you reel it in. That's why it's called a jerk bait. Stop reeling. Do it again. Now reel. You're reeling too much. Stop. You gotta stop reeling. You only reel to pick up the slack. The trout's so much more fun. Finally figured them out. Okay, so once you get the line tight, you gotta jerk it. You can't just keep reeling. You don't reel when you're jerking. Yeah, do it hard. And then reel in the slack. And don't leave your rod on the floor, baby boy. Just bring it on shore. Whoa, 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 whoa. It was a jerkbait type of day. I taught my son how to jerkbait at this lake. This was his first time using jerkbaits, and this is his first jerkbait fish, and it was his first keeper fish. We were gonna let it go, but then it started bleeding, so it was like, you know what? I guess we're gonna have to eat this one because we probably messed up his jaw with it flapping around all like that. So remember, if you're gonna let go of the fish, you have to release them. And we just didn't do a good job on this one, so we decided to keep it. I didn't get on video. Again, this is another little bass. I was catching a little bass on the Bronco bug from Mule Fishing with the jig head, 1/32 ounce jig head. So I guess you can catch bass at the Frye Mesa Reservoir.
I was on YouTube and
I missed. I didn't have my camera on for that one.
I was on YouTube.
The mule fishing coming through. They're hitting it right away. They're hitting this crayfish right away. Oh yeah. Ah, I got off. Throw it out there. I make it tight. And I just lift it a little bit. And then if it creates some slack, I just reel it in so it's tight. And I lift it a little bit. And you just reel in the slack. That's all you use the reel for. The fish are right there where you're at, so yes. It's because you don't got the touch yet. I'm gonna help you right now. This looks like a bass. That looked like a bass. Look at how beautiful nature is, y'all. So this was the Frye Mesa Reservoir fishing trip. Super beautiful, super windy, super crazy on the weekends. There's a lot of people on paddleboards, kayaks, swimming. You're not supposed to be doing any of that stuff there. There's bass in this lake, which are not supposed to be there. There's goldfish, which are not supposed to be there. But it kind of is what it is, right? It's just kind of a reflection of Arizona. This isn't a pretty rural area in Safford, and you need a 4x4 to get here. But even with all of that, it still gets hammered all kinds on the weekends. So this is a lake that the Arizona Game and Fish stocks with Gila trout, and it's one of the few lakes that you can go to or reservoirs that you can go to and actually eat the fish. So that's kind of why we went there, because for my son it's kind of a big deal to eat what you catch kind of thing, and we were camping nearby. It was nice. I would not recommend coming here during the heat of the summer because it is super hot. We came here right before summer. I think this was in March, and it was pretty chill. And I took some days off of work. We came during the week, but even then, there's still people coming. Not a lot, but you could hear them in the background. There were people paddleboarding and kayaking, and people would just come in ATVs for, like a picnic kind of thing. So it is definitely kind of a hidden gem, but not really. And it's kind of sad to see it in the state that it is with the goldfish and the bass, because there is some really huge trout in here that we were not able to catch. We were able to hook them, but they broke us off and we lost them. So it's a very special lake. I'm definitely gonna come here in the future, but it's kind of far from me and kind of hard to get to. So I gotta make sure that my tires are good and that everything is good with the car, because you don't want to be stuck out here. Anyway, y'all have a good one and see y'all in the next video.